everyone, it's Evangeline, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Malone AirFlow2 58-inch long raised rail roof rack. We're going to see how it fits, and I'll also show you how to get it installed on your 2024 Kia Telluride. This is a roof rack that I would often recommend to people when they're first getting into certain sports like kayaking, paddleboarding, or they just need to carry around a roof box real quick for a trip. This is going to be an entry-level roof rack that will create that base to carry around those fun accessories. But because it is entry-level, I don't exactly recommend it for extreme situations like overlanding, rooftop tent camping, or keeping these on your roof all year long. So let's talk about how this fits on the Telluride and when or when not you may want to consider it. First off, this is the medium size with the 58-inch long bars. I personally think that's going to be the best length for your Telluride, where you still get a little bit of extra overhang if you want to carry around larger, bulkier items, but it doesn't sit too far out, so it's still sleek and low profile. This is available in two colors, by the way. We currently have the aluminum, but for example, we have a black car. If we wanted also to have a black roof rack, you can get the AirFlow 2 in black. For an entry-level roof rack, this still checks off a lot of boxes. You have that aerodynamic shape compared to traditional round and square bars. Plus, you have access to a T-track. So if you have T-mounted accessories, you can slide them in right here. You are unable to lock that T-track, so that is something to be mindful of, but you are able to lock the roof rack, which is very impressive, especially since some premium brands don't include lock cores, while this one has 4 and they're all key-to-like. The way this secures to your vehicle is it goes around the raised rails. By the way, if you're not sure what type of rails you have, just check if you can put your hand underneath them or not. Some Tellurides do have flush rails. Well, this attaches to the raised rail by going slightly around it and then clamping down. Unfortunately, the Telluride does have a little bit of a lip there on its raised rail, so you do have to be very careful of how you secure your roof rack. If you're not careful, then you won't have a complete seated fit, which could be potentially unsafe for the road. With this base, you do have some dimensions you have to be considerate of. 1 or 2 are going to be your roof dimensions or roof height clearances. So the first is going to be from the roof to the bottom of the bar. We have 3.5 inches of clearance there. The second measurement is from the roof to the top of the crossbar, and that's going to be about 4.5 inches. So that's helpful for seeing if you have clamps that fit around. 3.5 is pretty good for that. Most clamps will fit, but it'll also tell you the height you have for your cargo. Let's say you have skis with extra tall bindings. You'll make sure there's enough clearance where it's not scratching up your roof, and if you find there is not enough clearance, you can then get accessories that give you more height. All things being said, yes, it checks off a lot of boxes, which is why I recommend it very often for entry-level enthusiasts. But with that, if you do want to weight this down with extra heavy items, the aluminum this is made of is designed for evenly distributed cargo. If you have something that's going to weigh down in the middle, you may experience things like bending of the bars. Plus, if you don't properly tighten this down, you may notice it shifting around on your rails, which is not ideal. So please be careful when you do use this roof rack. Please follow the instructions. I'll show you how to properly get this installed, so listen closely later on in the video. If you want something that you don't have to worry about, and if you're interested in investing just a little bit more, check out the Inno roof rack. That one has through feet with straps that go around the crossbars or the raised rails rather than clamps. So that will give you a bit more peace of mind during the install process. Plus, that's also a very solid roof rack. But it's a slightly more premium product at a slightly more premium price. If you're not ready to invest just yet and you want something that gets the job done, that's where the AirFlow 2 will do that for you. So hopefully this video helped you out. Let's go take a look at that install. The install process for this is very simple, especially when you've installed it the first time. So let's install this together. We have our rear crossbar already installed, and we'll get this second crossbar put together starting with inserting the towers. With your end cap removed, you're able to just slide the tower through. Notice how we have those tabs. that slide into that channel underneath. Once that's in place, go ahead and pop your end cap right back on. Now, if you've measured out your roof bars, or I guess your roof rails ahead of time, you'll be able to line this up. Otherwise, what I like to do is just put it straight onto the roof. Our clamps are currently in the open or the loosened position, so we're able to just set these onto our rails and then get them into the general area of where we want them to go. So from this point on, you first want to figure out your crossbar spread. Since you have raised rails, you're able to slide your crossbars back and forth to pretty much wherever you want them to go. The maximum crossbar spread of the Malone AirFlow roof bars is going to be 42 inches on the Kia Telluride. We don't need that much crossbar spread. So we're gonna go and meet in the middle at around 30 inches. That is measured center to center. Once you know where you want your towers, you're next going to make sure that this is even on both sides. So to do that, what I do is I measure from the tower to the end cap. Now this will change depending on where on your rails, but I found that 2 inches and 3/4 of an inch on each side looks about right. Now in order to tighten them down, you unlock your tower door, and 2 of these doors are going to have this tool. This tool will tighten down on the bolt in the tower and secure your tower to the rail. Here's some special tips for you. The first is to push down on your tower just because there's a little lip on the Telluride rail that you want that clamp to go over. The second trick is to just go ahead and use your own Allen key. I'm using a 5mm key, and this is going to give me a better grip compared to the lock/tool that comes with the roof rack. So just something to make your life a little easier. With both towers tightened down, then your final step is to put those doors or locks right back into place. Turn the key to make sure it's in the locked position, and then just double check that your towers are secure. Give them a good shake, extra important because of that extra lip on the rails. You want to make sure they're fully seated, especially up and down. Now, with all that being done, that's it for your install. Hopefully this video helped you out. You were able to see how simple it is to get this roof rack installed onto your roof. Now, it is an entry-level roof rack, so I do recommend that for more long-term solutions, consider upgrading to something that might be a bit more premium. Another thing that I would like you to remember is please make sure that you store the key in a safe spot just to make it easier to remove whenever you need to take it off after your trips. But other than that, this roof rack is available in either the aluminum or the black edition. You just saw the Malone AirFlow 2 on the 2024 Kia Telluride.